listening to 89.1 FM WXVU The Roar, Villanova's student-run radio. 1:08 p.m. on this beautiful, gorgeous Wednesday morning, which means it's time for Fun in the Locker Room, your favorite sports radio show, where we have Fun in the Locker Room, recapping everything in the world of sports, discussing hot takes, making predictions, and much, much more. Radio show every Wednesday, 1 p.m., but we're also a podcast, so check us out on YouTube, where we repost all of our recordings from every week, in case you miss all of Rank's great takes and everything that comes with our show during this great hour and a half we have together. Also, the Twitter, same name, Fun in the Locker Room, where we post our polls, questions, and we try to interact with our followers. As always, I'm Truett Carstetter, and I'm joined by my wonderful individual, Sean Michael Liam Holloway. And later in the show, we'll be joined by a good friend of the show, Jordan Alvarado, to talk about NBA trade deadline, because I know we really want to get into that. But as always, we have to start with our NFL segment, and we just finished off the Super Bowl. Chiefs over Eagles. I guess let's jump right into it with reactions and kind of a recap of the entirety of the season.
I think all of us are very excited about this win. We all picked the Chiefs. Congrats to Liam for correctly picking the margin of victory by 3 points.
And the kick.
And the kick. Very good on Liam's part. Very proud of him. First pick he's gotten right all year.
Wow. Hey, you know, I show up in big games. That's all that matters. I'm a big game player.
But it was an amazing Super Bowl. Two high-powered offenses coming out to play. I was a little concerned going to halftime with Patrick Mahomes' injury. He didn't look great. Looked like he re-aggravated it going into halftime. A little concerning. Eagles up by 10, but the Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes just always find a way to do it. The grit, the tenacity of this player, it's insane.
Yeah, I think that was definitely the concern if you were a Chiefs fan going into the game, was how is Patrick Mahomes' ankle going to hold up, and how is he going to be protected, because as I think we mentioned on the show last time, that grueling Super Bowl versus the Bucs where he was running for his life. But we should mention how, and I know the Chiefs O-line was very proud of this, gave up 0 sacks to the NFL's leading D-line in sacks.
Controversy over that one, but yeah. A lot of people, I saw a bunch of plays. The field, apparently, they were slipping all over. If you watch the defensive ends multiple times on both sides, there's only 2 sacks in the entire game, and both sacks were on the Chiefs, and they were just Jalen Hurts running out of bounds. They weren't actually sacks. Mm-hmm. And the defensive ends couldn't get their footing down to make those turns around the edge because apparently the field was just so bad.
Did you see one of Butker's kickoffs?
Yeah.
His foot
slipped.
Literally.
Yeah. I mean, that's a whole other issue, that why the NFL, what was it, turf?
No, it was like this. Apparently, they've been building this thing for 2 years.
2 years.
Sod grass, a new type of grass they've been working on.
They'd roll it out of the stadium into the sun every day.
Yeah, they installed it 2 weeks ago, and they've been growing it for 2 years. I don't know why they decided to do this. Why change it up in the Super Bowl?
Grass is grass, okay?
Yeah.
Just go with grass.
I mean, either way, though, we have to give credit where credit's due.
Yeah,
True, you hit the nail on the head. The Chiefs' offensive line absolutely won them this game. You know, they took care of Patrick Mahomes. He looked like he was hurt on that one possession, and then sat on the bench. They panned to him the next commercial. He looks great.
Mm-hmm.
And like Rank said, down 10, and Patrick Mahomes is no stranger to coming back from behind with large deficits. I guess we should talk about that play. What a lot of people are calling the phantom holding call, which did spark a lot of beef on Twitter, which is really interesting to see. But let's talk about the play.
I mean, he grabbed him. Bradbury said after the game, it was a hold. However, I think in big spots like this, I'd much rather just see the refs eat their whistle and not call it. You know, I'm always been a big proponent of I'd rather see physicality a little more so than them just blowing the whistle every play. It was a hold. He admitted it.
Well, the refs swallowed their whistle a couple years ago, Lee, and you weren't as happy about that one.
I mean, physicality is different from a blatant pass interference. But we got to remember what happened earlier in the fourth quarter. Bolton had another scoop and score, and they called that back. It was a catch. It 100% was a catch.
I think so.
Yeah, the guy caught it. He had possession. He made a football move going forward, and then he got trucked.
He got 3 steps in. It was close.
So, you know, You could make an argument either way, but for the most part, I thought the officiating was pretty good.
Yeah, and I respect. Like, I didn't think I'd ever say this, coming from a New York Giant fan, but I respect the hell out of the Eagles players and coaches for them all going to the microphone after the game.
Mm-hmm.
Not a single one of them made an excuse about refereeing, about the field, about anything. They simply just said, "This is what happens. One player's not outside the game," and they all owned up to it. And how many times have you seen a team come after a play like that and complain about officiating, all that stuff, and they easily could have done that.
Oh,
But they
very
didn't.
easily. Because it did, I don't want to say determine the game.
Cemented.
Cemented
Yeah.
the game. Cemented the direction it was heading.
Yeah.
Gave the Eagles virtually no chance. Although, did Jalen Hurts never learn how to throw a Hail Mary?
Yeah, that was
What was that?
I mean, wasn't his arm shot though? Already, they said before the game that he was having some shoulder
Yeah,
issues.
but still.
I mean, it didn't look bad when he was throwing it to Devontae Smith.
Mhm.
And he
earlier
played
in the
well.
game.
And if he
played
does have
really
shoulder injuries, why are you throwing a hook and lateral play instead of
That-
trying to throw the ball 60 yards
Yeah,
downfield?
I didn't understand that either. I don't
Yeah.
know, but they had 6 seconds left. They weren't doing anything anyway.
I'm waiting for the Super Bowl. I was just watching. I just saw the end of the Patriots Eagles first one when Tom Brady had the Hail Mary, and Tom Brady's had a couple Hail Marys in all his losses. I'm waiting for the time when a Hail Mary's had the Super Bowl. One of these times is
That
going
would
to
be
happen.
crazy, dude. That would be
Yeah,
absurd.
I mean,
You
that would
see
be
crazy
ridiculous.
ending of Super Bowls. One of the times is going to come down to Hail Mary.
That would be ridiculous.
Now, regardless of the outcome, though, I think both teams, the Eagles and the Chiefs, they're going to be A-OK. I think it's fair to say Eagles and the Niners are the NFC frontrunners. You could say the Chiefs are the frontrunner for the next 10 AFC
Yeah.
championships.
I'm more confident about the Chiefs going forward than the Eagles
Yeah,
because
100%.
Eagles lost both their coordinators within 48 hours of Super Bowl. That's a big loss. Losing both your offensive, defensive coordinators. A lot of changes coming to the team next year. They have a bunch of unrestricted free agents. They're a little older than the Chiefs. But if Jalen Hurts does what Jalen Hurts did on Sunday, they're fine.
They got a star for sure.
Yeah.
A young star.
And I doubted him all year, but he was the better quarterback.
He showed up.
Yards wise, possession wise, he showed up in the big game matter most.
But I mean, let's flip the script. What a first 5 years for Patrick Mahomes. 2 MVPs, 2 Super Bowls, 2 Super Bowl MVPs. He's been a Pro Bowler every year, I'd assume.
5-time, every single time
He's
going to
gonna
the
win
championship game.
The MVP this year.
I
Yeah.
mean, it's just what a resume so far.
He could retire today, be a Hall of Famer,
Yeah.
first ballot.
Oh,
easy.
absolutely, and he's on pace to challenge Brady for these things.
Yeah.
That's crazy to think about. He really is on pace.
I mean, after they had a dog water season last season that we critiqued them on, starting off very slow. You lose Tyreek Hill this offseason to just come out the gates like this and lead your team to the Super Bowl, to a victory, hobbling on an ankle. Looked like it was re-aggravated. Hats off.
That run in the fourth quarter on the last drive,
that was huge.
huge. He's just
30-yard run.
sprinting with a bum ankle.
Yeah.
My God.
Yeah. Shout out to the whole Chiefs team, though. Shout out to Isaiah Pacheco.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He
Rookie
might,
stepped up.
He's one of my favorite running backs in the league right now. The dude's a dog. The way he runs, he looks like he's run through wall.
Chiefs rookie stepped up. Pacheco, Sky Moore, both just really stepped up in the moment.
Their defense looked huge. Shout out Snead and Bolton. They went huge.
I want a big
huge
shout
on
out
defense.
to Kadarius Toney.
Yeah.
He had a great
Longest
Play the
punt
game.
return
Play
yeah,
the game.
had a great game.
in Super Bowl history by Kadarius Toney. Got a touchdown. Got that. If he would have scored that punt return, there's a debate whether he gets MVP.
Okay.
Interesting.
I'll entertain that, yeah.
Kelsey played great as well.
Yeah.
But, Chiefs team, they're going to be good for a while.
Speaking of awards, I think another thing we should get into is the NFL Honors, which was prior to the Super Bowl, so we never got a chance to talk about it. As I alluded to earlier, Mahomes got a second MVP.
Yep.
What
awards most surprised you guys? Because I know I have one.
First off, there are way too many awards with weird names.
Yeah.
The normal ones, but there's the next gen stats moment of the year, the FedEx Air and Ground Players
Yeah,
of the year.
What do those mean?
We don't need to talk about those.
Yeah, they're so stupid. Whatever.
Bud Light Selly of the year?
Exactly. What is this? All right. Let's start this off, Truett. Let's just start strong. Comeback Player of the Year is one of the stupidest awards in all of football, and I've said this all year.
I think you're saying that because Saquon
What did
Yeah.
Gino come back from? Being a bum?
Not
being ass.
Being
yeah.
a bum. Is that what he came back
Being
from?
booty. Yeah.
It's fair. Like,
That's most improved. That's not comeback.
but they don't
back
have
from an
emotion.
injury.
They don't have emotion.
Sean,
proof.
I know. It's just
Sean,
stupid.
they wrote him off. That's what he
Yeah,
came
they
back
wrote
from.
him off, and he didn't write back.
That is what he
he
came
wrote
back
himself off.
No, they wrote him off.
Specifically
They wrote
said
him off.
they wrote me off.
They wrote him off.
Okay, because he played terrible for his entire career.
No, he was just a back. He was a backup last year. We'll keep it a buck. He was a backup to Russell Wilson. He played when Russell Wilson got hurt and did fine, and then Russell Wilson came back and he sat on the bench. The starting spot wasn't even
Sure,
supposed to
we
be
wrote him
his
off.
this year. Everyone
When did
wrote
I
him
write
off
him off?
besides Pat Costello.
Yeah,
Everybody
exactly.
wrote this man off.
Last year when you made fun of
Yeah.
Pat for calling him the best player.
Yeah, no, I did.
Everyone wrote this man off.
I just-
Exactly. That's why he's
all
come
right,
He
back.
came back from mediocrity.
In my mind,
No,
comeback
worse
player of
than
the
that.
year is supposed to be coming back from injury, like things like that. And in that sense, it's Saquon or Brian
Maybe.
Robinson or somebody like that.
Maybe he's got to come back harder. Pause.
I just think the word's stupid. Congrats to Gino.
Should there be a
but-
comeback and a most
Yes.
improved? You think?
Yes.
I agree, but now they're intertwined, and I think Gino, he's a Pro Bowler. Like the dude came out of nowhere to be crazy. Saquon was good before. He
But
came back
that's
from an
most
injury.
Improved. That's most improved, not
Saquon,
comeback.
I mean, there was still some expectation for Saquon to be decent. There was none for Gino. Zero.
Most
They wrote
improved,
him
sure.
off. They wrote him
Yeah,
off.
absolutely.
But,
Most
but
improved.
as Liam said, that award does not exist.
Yeah.
So
I know,
So
but
they're
it's roped
intertwined.
into this.
Yep. It's a double dip,
It's just,
so to speak.
The name is stupid. I don't agree with the award, but congrats to Geno Smith. That's where I'll rest my case.
Moving on.
Wait, I didn't hear you.
Oh.
What was the end?
Oh.
Say it again.
Congrats to Geno Smith on an award.
Thank you.
Moving on. True. I
Maybe
know
he
you
can win
want
it
to
next
talk about these awards. Offensive and defensive rookie. So both Jets players.
Wait, didn't Truitt say it was going to be both Seahawks players?
I did not.
Seahawks.
I never said it was going to be both Seahawks players. I knew Sauce was going to win. Sauce. I mean, Tariq Woolen had a chance, but I knew Sauce was going to win.
Sauce. Yep.
I am enraged that Kenneth Walker did not win, despite having more first place votes.
See, that's what kind of irked me too.
This is
He had
giving me
more first place votes, but he didn't win. So
this
like,
is giving me
doesn't
Marc
really make
Gasol, LeBron James, Depoy
yeah.
vibes right here, and it's really the Seahawks social media. They were very salty. They've been posting a lot recently about how much it doesn't make any sense, but yeah, it I think Garrett Wilson's a great player. Everyone's talking about, well, if Breece Hall didn't get injured, he'd win it too. Yeah, okay, you know what? That's probably true. But fact of the matter is I think Kenneth Walker had the better year than Garrett Wilson.
But
And
Kenneth Walker didn't play as much as Garrett Wilson.
what do you mean?
Did he start the year? Kenneth Walker didn't start the year as a starting running back.
No, well, Rashad Penny got injured like 2 games in.
Yeah.
By week 4, I'm looking at the log. He was in there. I mean, yeah, I think it should have been Kenneth, but Garrett Wilson was also putting up crazy numbers.
Both very good
without a
players.
quarterback.
I'm not trying to take anything away from Garrett
Yeah.
Wilson.
Garrett Wilson was their clear number 1 without a quarterback, and he was really good. You know, they're both great players. It could have gone either way.
All props to Geno, but without Kenneth Walker establishing that run game, I don't think the Seahawks have the success that they have, and I don't think Geno Smith looks as good as he did.
100%.
But I digress. I feel like Depoy and offensive player of the year.
Shout out to your guys, your guys' quarterback, Dak Prescott. I know you both love him so much. He won Walter Payton Man of the Year. Good for him.
I actually do like Dak a lot. I don't know.
No, I know. I know you guys are big. You both are big Dak guys.
No.
You don't mind him, Rank?
No, I don't like Dak at all. But
You don't like him at
Congrats.
all.
That's why I thought you were making a joke.
Yes,
Because I'm
I
like,
thought
Rank
so.
clearly doesn't
Yeah,
like
I
him.
don't
I
like
thought
Dak.
you said a couple times before that you don't mind him at all.
Dak's overrated.
I'm not a Dak guy at all.
He's Kirk Cousins.
So what
of
is
the-
Walter Payton Man of the Year? Is it just for like
Charity and stuff.
charities?
Oh,
But shout out to him for all that stuff.
yeah, that's good.
Great
good.
guy.
Good for him.
Quick shout out to Brian Dable,
I was just about to say,
Yeah.
congrats about
AP
that.
Coach of the Year. Amazing job for this team with little to no talent. What he did with them.
Emphasis on no talent.
Yeah, little
I
to
am
none.
excited to see what happens next year with our big free agency and our draft class this year. A lot of draft picks coming in.
What's the joke that went around? He's the
Probably the worst record.
No, the biggest fat guy in New York since who they compare him to? Like Biggie Smalls or something?
Maybe. I didn't hear it.
Nice. Good for Brian Dable.
Shout out to Patrick Mahomes.
Shout out Bosa, well deserved. Although I would have put money on. I almost put money on Micah Parsons winning it.
I wish for once a non-quarterback would an MVP.
Yeah. Who do you think it could have been this year? Maybe like
Justin
Jay
Jefferson would be the only one this year. Cooper Kupp should have got last year.
I agree. Last year, definitely. I totally agree with that.
Set the NFL passing yards record. I don't know. Once in a while, I just want to see a non-quarterback win MVP.
Do you think it's the next non-quarterback to win it is going to be receiver or running back?
It's got to be a receiver.
You think so?
I don't know. Could be a defensive player. Guy who breaks the sacks record.
They'd have to put up, 25-plus sacks. Couple picks in there.
Yeah. I don't know. It's hard.
It's a quarterback award.
It is.
I mean, it's just inherently like the most valuable player in football is usually the quarterback.
It's true.
Which is tough, but
it's very fair.
I'm still glad that they have Offensive Player of the Year to kind of make up for that. It's good.
I agree that they don't do it the same person for MVP and Offensive Player of the Year.
Does that happen?
I feel like Tom Brady got them both 1 year, but typically no.
Okay, good. Yeah, just to mix it up and everything, it's good.
Shout out to D'Amico Ryans for AP Assistant Coach of the Year.
Who is that?
The new head coach of the Texans, the Niners defense coordinator.
Good for him. That's awesome.
He's going to have his hands full next year. And also another shout out before we can move on from these awards, I think. Damian Pierce for Angry Run of the Year.
What?
Apparently, he ran very angry against the Jaguars.
Very angry.
Yeah.
Define angry. What?
That's what it says. Angry Run of the Year. I think there's a clip.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to see this.
I'll describe it.
Please do.
Oh, angry run. Yeah, here it is.
I'm an audio learner, so please describe it to me.
It's some guy on stage right now. Are they gonna show the run or no?
Oh yeah, I found the run. All right, here we come.
Okay, we're watching the same video.
All right, so I'm just gonna sit here and not watch.
Wow. This looks like a.
Oh.
No,
wait, that was against the Seahawks. Was it angry?
Here he is. Here it is. Okay. Here's the angry run of the year.
Rank's got the commentary.
We got this. They're about to announce it. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. All right, takes a snap, runs through a couple of Jaguars guys. Whoa! Jaguars got his back, took him over, dragged 5 Jaguars guys all the way down to the 1-yard line. 40-yard run, went through the entire Jaguars team. I think every single one hit him. One of them got on his back at a moment, and he just shook him off, grabbed his leg, and just, wow.
It was a great angry run.
Angry.
That's an angry run. That's an angry run right there. Loving that.
Yeah.
What a great way to end the award segment there.
Yeah.
So, anything else to talk about NFL offseason?
Let's just.
Derek Carr got released.
That's no surprise.
No,
Yeah.
I think everyone was expecting
I think
that. I didn't think they were going to be able to find a trade partner. He had a $40 million contract that was supposed to get guaranteed. I don't think anyone was going to take that on.
No, absolutely
Panthers are
not.
currently odds-on favorite.
Panthers are?
Panthers are. Saints
Why
are
does
second.
every, just washed up loser QB go to the Panthers?
If you think even
Darnold,
worse,
Mayfield, what's going on here?
Frank Reich, the new coach of the Panthers, was the former coach of the Colts. So his past couple years has been Phillip Rivers, Carson Wentz, Matt Ryan, and then this year could be Derek Carr, a bunch of washed up guys. I hope for his sake they could draft a guy, and I want Derek Carr to the Saints.
Well, the Panthers, I don't know. It's like a place you can go to see if you can, still prove yourself. In the
most
NFL,
of them don't prove anything, to be honest.
As a bottom-tier quarterback, can you prove yourself?
Most of them fail
Yeah.
every time.
Yeah.
Did Baker, does he have a job, you think, next season? As a backup? He'll be in the league, right?
Yeah,
I think the Rams could
Behind
retain him as a
Stafford.
backup. Why not?
Behind Stafford?
Yeah.
What a fall from grace.
Was he really that high up?
I mean, he was supposed to be.
Yeah.
That 1 year when, they beat the Steelers in playoffs, that was pretty good for Baker stock,
I just never liked Baker, but yeah, good. Congrats to him.
Well, congrats on what?
On having one good year. Literally.
Hey, in the NFL, sometimes that's a lot.
Yeah, shout out that other guy in the Browns, Peyton Hillis. You guys remember him?
Yeah.
Cover Madden.
Yeah.
He had one good year.
Any other NFL stuff before we go trivia and then get into NBA?
Oh, it was a good season.
Okay, yeah. Who you guys got next year? Who's winning it all?
Oh my God.
Way too early.
It's
Bills.
feeling like
Bills, dude. I'm gonna keep saying Bills every year until it happens.
Yeah.
it's starting to feel like Tom Brady. I'm not picking against Patrick Mahomes.
I'm going to go with Chiefs again. I think they have the
I think Chiefs Bengals. I don't think the Bills are there anymore. I think Joe
Interesting.
Burrow and the Bengals are just really good.
They
now.
got to get rid of that Swiss cheese offensive line.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Maybe also like replace Eli Apple
That dude has
with anybody else.
no
49ers.
spot on a team.
Could be Niners. Could be Niners. Depends on how.
What the quarterback situation
yeah.
is.
Yeah.
That's a good pick, Frank. That's a good pick.
Okay.
Good season overall, though. Good season.
Great
Yeah,
NFL
and we'll have
season.
some good NFL talk coming up forward and the off-season stuff. Get into it all.
Yeah.
A lot of off-season stuff coming up.
Mm-hmm.
Alrighty.
You got a trivia for us, Frank?
Yeah.
There you go.
Little honor of Patrick Mahomes. Only 6 guys in NFL history have won 2 or more Super Bowl MVP awards. Can you name the 6?
I'm going to go Tom Brady.
Yep, Tom Brady number 1.
Say that again. Sorry.
6 guys in NFL history with multiple Super Bowl MVP awards.
Mahomes.
Mahomes and Brady. Yep.
Peyton Manning.
Nope.
Oh wait, he didn't win that with the Broncos.
Who won that year?
That was Von Miller.
Oh yeah.
Elway?
Nope.
Montana.
Yep.
Yeah. Steve Young.
Nope.
Did Aiken? No.
Nope.
Bradshaw.
Yep.
I feel like there's going to be like an old, there's
One
got to
guy's
be an
old.
old Packers guy.
Yep.
Bart Starr.
Yep. There you
Yeah,
go.
yes, sir. Let's go.
How'd you pull that out?
I-
Jeez.
I got my knowledge.
All right, that's 5 and 6.
Told
Who's
you.
the last one?
Big game player.
One more.
One more.
One more.
Oh, is it Eli?
Yeah.
Oh my God, dude.
You always find a way to sneak him in these questions, man.
Future Hall of Famer Eli Manning.
All right, we have a quick word from our sponsors before we move into our NBA segment, but just definitely want to say from all of us here at Fun in the Locker Room, thank you for sticking with us through this NFL season. It's truly a joy to talk about it. But what you should do is listen every Wednesday at 9 a.m. for Radio Survivor. Radio Survivor has been covering and supporting great radio from college and community broadcasters to internet radio and podcasts since 2009. Hosted by Matthew Lazar, Paul Rismandel, and Jennifer Waits. Radio Survivor every Wednesday at 9 a.m. on V89.1 FM The Roar. And then what you should do after that is listen to Fun in the Locker Room on Wednesday as well. Now, moving into our NBA segment, welcome to the show, friend of the show, Jordan Alvarado. Jordan, great to have you.
Hey guys, happy to be here. Thanks for having me again.
We truly enjoyed it when you were on the show last time, and bringing your NBA knowledge and opinions, whether they're valid or not valid opinions nonetheless. And we just got through a monster trade deadline, and it's funny because I think I said all three of us said we didn't really expect anything to happen after the market seemed to be screwed by Rudy Gobert getting traded for 15 first-round picks, but we were wrong. So there's really no structure to this. Let's just talk about some moves.
Kevin Durant, we got to start with
Yeah.
KD. We got to start with KD. So, what was the full trade?
KD to the Suns for 3 first-round picks outright, a pick swap, Cam Johnson, and Mikal Bridges.
Wow. Bucks also got Jay Crowder in that trade. Pacers
Jay
got
Crowder went there.
George Hill, Serge Ibaka, and a couple second-round picks. Does this make the Suns? Does this make them front runner in the West? Are they better than the Nuggets right now?
When they put it all together, they have on paper the best roster in the Western Conference. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would agree. On paper, for sure. It's crazy to me how they didn't end up giving up any of Chris Paul, Devin Booker, or DeAndre Ayton. I mean, the four of those guys is really scary. Let alone a key starter. I think he's been solid in Torrey Craig. They're gonna also be starting Josh Okogie every once in a while. And then you still have key guys off the bench. I don't know if you guys love him, but Cameron Payne, I think his shot's a little wonky, but he's a good player off the bench, and just to be able to keep a lot of those guys is really, really cool. Let's not let's not act like T.J. Warren wasn't in that trade too. I mean, the Suns getting T.J. Warren as well, another great piece that can come off the bench. So I definitely think the Suns, not just a front runner in the West, but could be in the whole NBA. Even though I am going to be sticking with my picks, my preseason pick of the Bucks, getting stronger with Jay Crowder.
I'm going to play devil's advocate, and I'm going to say I think it's very understated, the loss of Mikal and Cameron Johnson, both short-term and long-term. I thought one of the great parts about the Suns was, yes, you have Chris Paul and Jay Crowder, some older guys, but you also have younger guys like Booker, Ayton, Mikal, Cameron Johnson that can really prolong the winning window of this team. As Chris Paul, his career dwindles, you have this young core to remain competitive and see a lot of growth from these guys. So short term, Mikal Bridges' defense, his shooting, he was having a phenomenal year. Cameron Johnson is a great shooter as well, versatile, can play a 3-4, whatever. And then long term, you're kind of going in a bit of a win now mood. Not only giving up the picks, which was expected, but also those young guys. So Kevin Durant's not a spring chicken anymore. Chris Paul's certainly not one. So I think in a few years, if you don't come away with a ring, you're gonna really just have Devin Booker and Ayton to build off of and kind of be starting. Not from the ground up necessarily, but it would be nice to have Mikal and Cameron Johnson and those picks, when Chris Paul and Durant eventually retire. So I'm just playing devil's advocate. I'd love to hear your guys' opinion on that.
I feel like in the NBA, though, at this point, I think the Suns have been there. They know what it takes to get to the NBA Finals, and they know that they are a player away from actually going there and being competitive and winning the NBA Finals. And you just have to push all your chips in the center table. So many teams have done this. Like, as much as NBA media and everybody wants to criticize the Nets general manager and the moves he made, I would think that 90% of general managers, if they said, do you want KD, Kyrie, and James Harden on your team, would all say yes to that. And you just need the star power, and the Suns have that now with Kevin Durant. And you look up and down the Western Conference now, I'm surprised more teams didn't make moves for the 3-and-D guys the Nets had, because a lot of these teams in the Western Conference, who's guarding KD in a best-of-7 series? Like the Grizzlies, the Nuggets, the Kings, the Mavericks. My God, like, who's guarding KD?
Yeah.
They don't have the guys that the Celtics and the Bucks do, and the Clippers even. The Clippers are probably in the best spot to match up against the Suns because of PG and Kawhi Leonard's ability to guard Kevin Durant. Other than that, I think if they can get it rolling, they're unstoppable.
Do you think they will get it rolling?
I think they can.
On paper, Harden, Kyrie,
but they're different. This team's
Durant.
different because Chris Paul's the facilitator. Devin Booker and KD get the shots, and DeAndre Ayton's got the rebounds. There isn't as much guys who need the ball in their hands as much as
That's true.
them. I don't know. And KD's shown he's been able to play off ball with. Look at the Warriors. Look at teams like that.
I think it's going to be very interesting how Booker and KD play together, because I think, in a playoff series, you could literally have them average 80 points between them together. But there's also going to be nights where, if Booker's cold, KD's going to have to step up. It's going to be interesting without these role players. I think Bridges was a huge loss for them. Obviously, they don't get this trade done without him. But who's their defender now? Because Ayton's not good at defense. He hasn't been. Man's soft. KD, he's tall. He does his things. Chris Paul, he gets a steal once in a while.
He's had 2 or more steals in the past 5 games.
Yeah.
I mean, here's the thing, and I don't mean to cut you off, Liam, but here's the thing about, I wanted to circle back to what True had said earlier about giving up to these other guys. Well, yes, these other guys are very, very solid, and they're honestly, they make the Nets still look very, very good right now, and it seems like they want to tank after trading all their stars. They still look very, very good with all these guys. It comes to a certain point where a team has to go all in, and this kind of seems like what the Suns are doing, and I think it's going to work really, really well. They don't really have, the opportunity to keep this window open so long. They have to go all in now. Like you said, Chris Paul's getting older. Doesn't mean he's playing any worse. I mean, last night he had 19 assists. We definitely have to give him his flowers still, but I think it's like the perfect time for them to go all in, and I think this roster just makes sense. I mean, for Chris Paul to be able to distribute to 2 of the deadliest scorers in the of this generation. I think Devin Booker's, while he hasn't fully proven himself yet, he's in that category of one of the best scorers of this generation. And putting up 70 points in a game, is kind of crazy. So him being able to distribute to guys like that is going to be very, very scary come playoff time, especially.
You guys think this team has a shot against the Bucks, Celtics?
Yeah.
100%.
I think when you have Kevin Durant, you always have a shot.
Mm-hmm.
They've got the talent. I think defensively they're going to struggle against the length and the players just on both of those teams. Like, you look at the Celtics roster up and down, you got Jaylen Brown, you got Kevin Durant, Jason Tatum, you got guys you have to defend, and you look at the Bucks even more with Giannis. Who's really guarding Giannis? Because you got a Kevin Durant and DeAndre Ayton together against him, but it's going to be interesting how much Kevin Durant can elevate his defensive game in the playoffs against players like Giannis.
I'm excited to watch this team play because, we talked about it last week with Kyrie on the Mavs. I think they could put up 150 points a game. I think the Suns could drop 160 a game with those two. Especially Jordan hit the nail on the head. Chris Paul might average 25 assists a game with these two, and Ayton sitting under the basket. It's gonna be really cool. It's gonna be really cool to see. I'm excited to see how they'll match up against a team like the Nuggets, a team like the Clippers, a team like the Mavs. Just star power going at each other.
The Knicks.
Let's
Pelicans
flip
team.
the script for the Nets, and we talked about Mikal, great piece in that trade. You get the picks, right? And if I'm trying to remember the timeline, you give up a lot of picks for Harden. You get some picks back for Harden. You get some picks back for Kyrie. Were there picks in that trade? And then you get a lot of picks back for Durant. So it's not. So they have kind of their future back. They have some pieces.
But I guess the problem in that aspect though is they don't have their own first round picks. So they can't stink and get
point.
picks. They have the Suns picks who are not going to be as good as the Nets picks are going to be.
Yeah, I mean it's 2025, 27, 28, and then in 2029 first round picks.
I'm telling you, by then it's going to be a huge switch up. Guys move like it's nothing nowadays.
Yeah.
Suns won't be the same in 4 years. There's no way. Absolutely no way.
So what do you think about? I'm hesitant to ask this question. Like, how much of a failure? Okay, before I ask that question, we should talk about how Harden and Kyrie have come out and have been talking about just basically bashing the Nets organization. Kyrie started it recently, and then Harden has doubled down, as in saying, like, when I left, like, you guys thought I was the bad guy, but now I don't look foolish anymore. Like, I'll pose two questions. A, how much of a failure is this? B, what does this say about the Nets organizations when they're trying to, like, attract free agents in the future?
I think on Kyrie, a lot of the hate that Kyrie got when he was on the Nets, it was somewhat warranted.
Yeah.
He brought it up a lot on himself, and, he's shown in the past before he was even on the Nets that he was a locker room cancer. A lot of guys didn't really like him. He didn't like the he had a lot of run-ins with Celtics, the Celtics fans. They just didn't play together, though. When you don't have those three guys on the court at the same time, that's such a huge hit. Those three stars. Looking at the Nets now, they have all the role players in the world.
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting to see what they go from here, but I don't know. Kyrie talking bad about the Nets, it's not surprising. They didn't like him. He didn't like them. Harden's a little more, but it doesn't matter now.
The Nets before Kyrie, KD, and James Harden were a team built on role players who played hard, and Sean Marks built this team up from where it was after the Celtics trade that really destroyed them for a while. And I don't blame him. He did what he had to do. You do what you have to do in the NBA to win a championship and get star players. It's just totally on those big three. Those big three failed not being able to work together. All three of them should take responsibility, and they won't. They'll push on the Nets. But I'm excited to see what the Nets do looking forward because I really love those D'Lo, Karis LeVert, Spencer Dinwiddie teams that were just hard-nosed basketball. And I'm excited to see them go back to it and see what they can build around going forward.
I don't even, you know what? Thinking back on these Nets teams, past couple years, I don't even consider it a big three. I talked to Truett about this recently. I mean, James Harden was there. I didn't even really consider him part of that like whole. Okay, let's bring stars to the Nets. You know, it was always from the jump, KD and Kyrie. You know, James Harden came for a small stint because he requested a trade, but he never really wanted to be there. You know, injuries really hurt them. I mean, early on, neither Kyrie nor KD were playing from the jump. You know, so you have injuries. You have, you know, Harden, who wasn't even really there for most of the time. You know, down the stretch, I think what really hurt Kyrie is he kind of struggles with being part of something bigger than himself. You know, I'm not criticizing his character, saying he's selfish, but you know, there's a lot of things that, you know, he stays true to what he wants and what he believes in, which is not a bad thing. But you know, when you're part of something, an organization like that, there's going to be tension at times, and you know, who knows if he handled it well? I don't. You know, some may say no, some might say he did okay, but you know, a lot of what he did was just pretty disappointing. And you know, the organization did the best that they could. Could they have just given him a normal deal without the implications of games he had to play and just roll the dice on him? Sure, but you know, that was up to the organization, and you know, that's going to upset some guys. But you know, ultimately, both sides stuck to their guns, and we saw the aftermath of that.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's well said. It's I don't know. I think the Nets are going to be. They've kind of come full circle. They're back to that D-Lo type team, but now they just, you know.
Dude, I have the roster pulled up. This roster is actually sick.
I actually
they have a do-over.
Before you say that, they I saw on Twitter today they rejected an offer. Teams were offering 2 first-round picks for Dorian before the deadline. And they rejected it.
I miss you, Doe. But dude, look at this. You have Nick Claxton, Depoy this year. Mikal Bridges should have won Depoy, arguably should have won it last year. Dorian Finney-Smith, great defender. Royce O'Neal, great defender. You have your shooters. Cam Johnson, Joe Harris, Seth Curry. Dinwiddie's a playmaker. Patty Mills can playmake. You're still Ben Simmons on the team, and Cam Thomas. Uta's a shooter. Uta's a shooter too.
Yuta, oh my goodness.
This is a good team. Looking at the playoff pick, they're going to make the playoffs, I think.
I think they're still going to make the playoffs, yeah, for sure.
They might be a play-in now, but they'll
I would
still
love
playoffs.
to see what happens in that plan. Like, who's the guy? Like, how do they work? Like, I'd love to see this.
I would not want to face this team in a 7-game series. Because
they might hold teams
people
under like 100
people are
points
getting
a game.
clamped by this team.
The
They're
Cam
gonna take
Thomas takeover.
They're gonna take some time to figure out what lineups work best and who works on the floor
totally,
good.
Totally.
This
I
team
heard
is sick, though.
James Vaughn, the coach, the other day was saying we gotta figure out what's the best line to make Ben Simmons look good, because Ben Simmons only 13 points the other day against 13 minutes against the Knicks the other day. So I'm curious to see what they put together, because they're a very deep team.
This team is awesome.
Yeah.
I think they're going to be, you talk about teams that are a star away.
Once again,
Look at the Nets, right?
I feel like they had a couple of those. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
All right, we have a slew of 3-team, 4-team trades. Somebody just
let's go Lakers. Let's start with off true. Let's
That's
go.
the one I
recap
did
this
not
one?
want to start with. Which
recap
one?
this
There's
one.
multiple. There's the
You know
Thomas
which-
Bryant
you know
one,
which
and then
one.
there's the.
You know which one we're
The only one that
talking
really
about.
matters.
Well, they lost Thomas Bryant. I mean, that's okay. So the Lakers received D'Angelo Russell, welcome back. Malik Beasley, Jared Vanderbilt, T-Wolves, Mike Conley, Alexander Walker, 3 second-round picks, and then the Jazz received former MVP Russell Westbrook, Juan Toscano-Anderson, Damian Jones, and a 2027 first-round pick. I believe the Jazz are expected to cut Russell Westbrook. I don't see any world where that doesn't happen, considering the history between those two parties.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm going to try and be as unbiased as possible here. I think it was a great move for the Lakers. You bring in D'Lo, who lacks not completely, but lacks the volatility that Westbrook has. He has his up days, his down days. But I think getting Malik Beasley and Jared Vanderbilt has already paid huge dividends. I don't really get why the T-Wolves and Jazz did this, to be honest. I don't really understand why getting rid of 3 role players when you're the T-Wolves for a couple seconds and Mike Conley makes sense. And then I don't even know why the Jazz are involved in this besides getting a first-round pick and getting off of Mike Conley. But,
Well, we saw this past summer that the Timberwolves don't really know what they're doing. No, that's for one. I think this just makes the Lakers a more of a well-rounded team. I mean, they had a lot of question marks this year. They were starting Beverly and Schroeder at times together. Like their lineups were wonky. They had you can't win games when you're consistently having a lot of minutes on the floor with Beverly and Westbrook together. I'm sorry, it's just not going to work. You're getting bricks from both sides. So, I know there's some fans, a lot of Lakers fans out there that take things to heart, but now you actually do have a chance at the play-in. I mean, I didn't think you had a chance at the play-in initially, but now you have a shot. Do I think you're going to go far in the playoffs? No, but hey, can always try, and I think they did a good job. The trade deadline, I think they definitely did a good job. Mo Bamba too, on that roster now. He could shoot
for sure.
Anyway, sorry, don't want to move on, but yeah.
Yeah, I'm curious to see. In a vacuum, Mike Conley I think fits the Jazz better than D'Lo did. I think the T-Wolves. I think the T-Wolves were done with D'Lo. There was just too much problems with him year after year. They wanted a fresh start there. I think Mike Conley, if he can do what he did with the Jazz last year, could be a key piece to that team to provide offense and provide playmaking for Ant and the rest of the guys on the team. When healthy, the lineup's not bad. They're an 8th seed right now. They're competing for. They're probably a play-in team. Like, let's just be realistic with them. They're going to still end the play-in spot. Maybe they can get a 8th seed. I don't know. Laker-wise, I love D'Lo. Since the time of his Nets, he hasn't played as well with the T-Wolves, but I'm hoping he can resurrect his career with the Lakers. Curious to see how that combination works with what lineups they bring out there with him. What do they put around him on times? The other role players definitely helped the Lakers more because Lakers were problems with all those aspects. I think my biggest thing is I'm curious to see where Russell Westbrook ends up. When he gets cut, where's he going? I saw a rumor he's going to the Bulls. I was like, please no. Why? Why would that happen?
There's a big rumor that I like and I really don't like for the Clippers. Apparently Paul George is heavily recruiting him.
I love that.
They don't have a
I
true
love
point
that
guard.
for Russ,
You hate
but
that.
I so strongly dislike the Clippers. But I love that if that means Russ is going to get a ring and actually be valued by a team.
I think it's a good fit. They just brought in Bones Highland too. They're solid. Clippers, I think it's a good fit for sure.
It's a great fit, and I would love to see that happen just because it would create such turmoil in Truett's mind.
It's kind of amazing how you go from, like, if you look at the T-Wolves, Kevin Love for the first overall pick, Andrew Wiggins, D'Lo, Mike Conley. You pretty much traded away prime Kevin Love for Mike Conley.
That's the way it goes.
Incompetency.
I
Yeah,
mean,
literally.
I mean, listen, Timberwolves don't know what they're doing. Maybe they're trying to recreate what the Jazz had. I mean, I'm not saying that Anthony Edwards is comparable to Donovan Mitchell, but you got Rudy Gobert, you got Mike Conley, you have a scoring shooting guard. Maybe they're like, ooh, it worked for them in the regular season. Let's try again. You know what I mean?
Minnesota Jazz. Interesting.
And just to
Jazz.
address Sean's point about the Lakers and fixing a lot of the problems they had, I think with this you get people that can space the floor because God knows they didn't have that. I think Jordan was mentioning Beverly and Westbrook has your backcourt. No spacing for LeBron or AD. Malik Beasley, D'Lo, and Vanderbilt, I believe, all shoot like over 35% from three. And then you have guys that can go get your shot, go get their own shot, which, I mean, you get every now and then from Russ. You're not getting from Beverly. You get every now and then from Schroeder. That's about it. There was really no one else.
Reeves?
Austin Reeves, but he was injured for a lot.
Yeah.
Lonnie Walker was injured a lot. So you really just put a lot of pressure on LeBron and AD. So I'll never understand why they broke up that team that won in 2020, but this seems more like that 2020 team. Role players that can space the floor around LeBron and AD. Rob Pelinka you're fixing some mistakes.
I feel like LeBron got what he's been asking for this entire time. And I feel like all these excuses are on this team. I don't know. I feel like they now have people around them that they have talent enough to make
that
a
you
run.
can trust.
Yeah.
I'm not trusting Patrick Beverly to go out and get his own shot.
So are you saying LeBron just wanted to get rid of Westbrook?
Yes. No, I think LeBron wanted other people around him, and
Yeah.
I think we all knew this. Like, as I said earlier, the only way the Lakers make a run is you getting rid of Russ just
Yeah.
because of his contract, the size of the thing. Like,
You got to get other guys.
it wasn't a
too.
personal thing; it was a contract thing,
Yeah.
and that's what needed to happen.
I think this is going to open it up a lot more for AD, and I'm excited to see how he plays because now he can play the 4, Jared Vanderbilt's the 5. He'll
Well,
be
and
fine
let's
with
get
that.
into the trade that Jordan alluded
Yeah.
to with Thomas Bryant to the Nuggets, Bamba, Davon
Yeah.
Reed second to the Lakers, Bones to the Clippers, and then bye-bye Beverly to the Magic. Pretty good haul for just getting rid of Beverly and Thomas Bryant.
I still have no idea why the Lakers ever had Pat Bev on their team. It doesn't make any sense.
He got that dog in him for sure.
They bought into that very small sample size hype that he had with the T-Wolves.
Yeah.
He gets really excited about winning playing games, and that's exactly what the Lakers need.
Yeah, maybe that was their thinking.
And I just want to mention, they took a huge risk by that paid off, but they just assumed that Beverly and Russ are going to be okay together in the locker room. Like, those are two egotistical, aggressive, chippy dudes that hated each other. And they're like, even regardless of on-court production, they're like, you know what? Let's just see if this works in the locker room.
Yeah.
Somehow it did. They said they spent Christmas together or something, which is wild. But you took a huge risk that you just didn't blow up your entire locker room by doing that. So I'll double down on what you said. I don't know why they got Beverly either.
Interesting.
Man was a walking brick.
Mo Bamba's going to be good for them. I'm excited. I think, AD with this new team, I think he's really going to be able to flourish. Vanderbilt help him so much defensively. AD's going to be at the 4 now. I think that's going to open up a lot of things. You have a good shooter, Malik Beasley. People forget, 2 years ago he was averaging 20 a night for the T-Wolves. Dude can score a little bit. And then D'Lo, who I think with LeBron and AD, he's going to be able to play make. It's going to be a lot better for him than passing to Rudy Gobert and the big purr cat. Lakers definitely a play-in team, but it's going to be interesting. If LeBron and AD are each giving you 40 a night, you don't want to play this team in the playoffs. Who knows?
I'm not entirely sure the volume, but I think Mo Bamba actually stretches the floor out even a little bit more. He's shooting 40% from 3.
There we go. Yeah.
39.8% from 3 this season.
Bev wasn't doing that.
Thomas Bryant was taking pull-up threes sometimes in transition, clanking them. Sometimes didn't even hit the rim.
Okay, he's averaging
Who gave him that green light?
3 threes attempted per game.
That's
39.8%.
Hey, that's
That's
basic.
for
That's
a
really
center?
Yeah.
Mo Bamba.
It just has to be respectable.
Dude's
That's all it has to
wingspan is like 9 feet.
For a center,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? So just a little bit of that is just so much needed. I mean, I don't know. I think the Lakers did a pretty good job. They're not doesn't make them dangerous, but they got better.
Magic gets rid of one of their 8 centers on the roster.
Can we talk about the Knicks?
Josh Hart?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think we were. I was in the building for the entire Knicks team there when Jalen Brunson gave his retirement speech, and Josh Hart reuniting a couple former Villanova players in New York. Jalen Brunson dropped 40 yesterday. There you go. Josh Hart 27. I don't know. I love this Knicks team. The fight. Jalen Brunson's just playing out of his mind right now. It's ridiculous.
All-star.
I love it.
How is he not initially an all-star, man?
Ridiculous.
Come on.
A resident Knicks fan right here. Well, 2 guys that are kind of Knicks fans in a way. Thoughts on this team now?
I really, really, really like this team. I had a lot of question marks just the past couple years. Who's supposed to be our all-star in Julius Randle, I never liked. I'm not really a fan of his game. But I think the addition of Jalen Brunson has just kind of really tied this thing together. Just what he's done, not even statistically, but just how he kind of runs the show in a way. down the stretch, just controlling the ball, controlling the pace, getting inside, making sure we get a good look, things like that. Because Randall doesn't take the best looks. R.J. Barrett does not take the best looks. So it's just nice to have a level-headed person on the court. IQ. He goes a little nuts sometimes. So it's good to have somebody that's very, very level-headed on the court running our offense. And then the addition of Josh Hart, unbelievable. Just exactly what we needed. He is just energy. He's such a good player. I'm obsessed with Josh Hart on the court. And I think he pairs really, really well with all these players. And again, another person that's he's gonna be level-headed. He's gonna be consistent. He's gonna give you what you need. And a little bit of a plug, but 2 Villanova guys, just goes to say,
It really does. I think Villanova in general is just. I think the NBA started to realize how a Villanova education, and at least in that aspect of on the basketball court together, just produces these guys who just play so fundamentally sound, play the game the right way, don't get rattled ever, and just find a way to get in the paint and play make. It's just so much fun to watch. Jalen Brunson doing the things he did in college with his back down, his post moves. I just love it. I love it.
One last thing on the Knicks is that Jericho Sims will be winning the dunk contest. Mark my words. I'm pretty sure he's in it.
That's a good take.
I find it very sad that this might be a bias thing that we couldn't get Arch, Brunson, and Hart on the same team.
Imagine.
So close, man.
Yeah.
They had to trade him away, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Which, I don't get because
The Blazers.
Arch is kind of a bum, in the NBA. So, I don't get why he was needed in that trade.
It was 100% salary match. There's no way. That's the only
had
reason.
to be, right?
There's no way the Trailblazers said, we want him out of all your players.
He's
no
not
offense.
making anything either, right?
He's probably definitely great in the
He's
locker
probably
room and in
making them
practice and everything, but it had to have been a salary match because,
This reminds me of the shortened season Knicks team when they were the 4 seed.
Oh, that's right.
They're just dogs, playing.
Right.
I think the energy with this Knicks team is going to be able to carry them.
Ryan Arch is making $2.1 million this year.
Well, good for him, man.
Shout out to him.
Get your bag. I think they're a good team now. They're a good team.
Maybe
Knicks are gonna play
use
hard.
some of that money to invest in a personal trainer for your brother or something like that. Teach him how to
He's
play
made
basketball.
$10 million in his career. Wow, crazy.
Another Wildcat on the move. I think this is a head scratcher for a lot of people. Sadiq Bey to the Hawks. Some other pieces in there, but notably Gary Payton goes back to the Warriors, and then Wiseman going to the Pistons. Which, when you have Jalen Duran, I don't really get it. Sadiq Bey was really good for the Pistons. I really don't get this move at all.
I don't understand why other teams, seeing this, why an actual contender didn't go out and try and get Sadiq Bey.
Yeah.
Because personally, would have loved him on the Mavs. I think it would have been a great fit. But why did they move him? Why did the Pistons move him? He's part of their young core with Ivy, Cade. He's part of that.
Duran.
Yeah. True. It's a head scratcher for me too. I don't understand this one.
I think the only team that this trade makes zero sense for, you talked about it already, it's the Pistons.
Yeah.
It makes zero sense. To get Wiseman, why?
They just lost
Why?
Sadiq for Wiseman.
It
essentially
makes no sense. I love the trade for the Hawks. I think Sadiq will be a great fit there. And then was Gary Payne in that one, or was it a different one?
That was one of my
Back to the
favorite
Warriors.
moves.
I love the homecoming. I love
Favorite
the
moves.
homecoming.
Yeah.
I almost cried. It was very. That's just a feel good moment for them.
A lot of reunions.
He fits in that team so well.
But there was
he's
a rumor
defensive.
that it was going to get
He's got
negated
injury
'cause
problems.
because of the failed physical.
because of his injury. But they worked it out, thankfully. They worked it out. Yeah.
Okay.
So it went through. Maybe they just wanted it for the Warriors. They're like, you know what, we'll do this trade for you. Make themselves feel good, because there's no other logical reason for the Pistons. That's just really doesn't make sense at all.
And Gary Payton got his bag too before this year, so he's getting paid now finally.
And
Yeah.
probably back on
And
the
he's-
team he wants.
And
to
he's
be on.
back on the
Yeah.
Warriors. Yeah, it's good for him.
His
all worked
defense
out.
is just going to be huge in the playoffs.
Yeah.
He can guard a lot of positions. He's versatile. He gives the Warriors an extra dimension that they were kind of lacking at points this year. I think we talked about, especially at the beginning of the year, how bad their defense was. And it's turned around a little bit, but I think Gary Payton will just further help cement the defense, especially coming into the playoffs.
And I think it's good. I think James Wiseman needed a change of scenery.
Yeah.
That experiment really didn't go well at all. Which I remember, like, when they got that second pick, because Curry was out that whole year, and I was like, oh my god, of course the Warriors get the second overall pick, or whatever pick Wiseman was taking at, and it was just like, I can't tell you why. I mean, injury, like, why is Wiseman not good?
I just honestly, I think it's mentality.
Yeah,
You can see the way he moves on the floor. He's not really assertive. He's supposed to be a center. He's 7 feet tall, and he's shying away from contact. He's fading away. He just doesn't really look like he wants it as much. Maybe it's injuries. It's holding him back. It's, we saw with the back injury. I think it's mental, but also the back injury did to Ben Simmons. He doesn't look very assertive anymore either. That takes a toll on the body, but also mentally. So hopefully James Wiseman figures it out. It seems like the Pistons is a destination spot for failed number 2 picks, as they also got Marvin Bagley recently. The Marvin Bagley James Wiseman duo, that's going to be very interesting to see how they pan out, because they were both supposed to be studs. So. Really interesting situation.
Why are they getting centers now? It's just
The Warriors also got 3 future seconds in this trade as well.
Why were second round picks just traded around like a bag of cash?
In this one too, the Blazers got 5 future seconds, and Fortnite boy, Mr. Kevin Knox.
Unbelievable.
Kevin Knox.
he's getting former Knick.
Where was Kevin Knox? Who had him?
I guess he was on the Hawks. He had to be on the Hawks then, right?
Oh yeah, he was in the Cam Reddish trade last year.
Yeah. Yep.
Good for him.
The Knicks and failed lottery picks. Sorry, Jordan.
Jakob Poeltl back to the Raptors.
Love this.
He dropped like 30 the other day, which is crazy.
30. He went 15 of 17 from the field, 9 boards, 6 blocks. No Raptors ever put up a stat line like that ever. That his first game. Come on now.
He's so solid. So solid. And you know what? Not even stats-wise, but defensively, and how this team can run with him on the floor. I saw a thing. I can't take all the credit for this. I saw a thing earlier on this, and it kind of put things into perspective. A guy like that, it's not just about what he can do for himself, but the pressure he relieves off the other guys. We don't have to see Scotty Barnes and Pascal Siakam trying to, get rid of all their energy trying to box out the other team's center. You have Jakob Poeltl. You allow Barnes and Siakam to kind of do their wing duties, and defensively it just makes them that much scarier because they have that interior anchor now to go along all the length that they had already. So I think that was just a really, really good pickup for them going down the stretch through the All-Star break.
You guys think the Raptors could still sneak in?
No.
You think they're out? They're still in the play-in right now.
They're the 9 seed. It's very, very tight. I think you know what? I think they'll still make. I think they'll make the play-in. They'll still make the play-in because you look at the guys under them, and the Pistons are not going to do anything. The Hornets have been disgraceful. The Magic are still just trying to figure things out. I definitely think the Raptors are better than the Magic. The Raptors have an all-star. The Pacers, they still have Halliburton, but I'm not too sure. But the Bulls have been shockingly bad. Mm-hmm. So I definitely think it mix it up. You can mix that up a little bit, but I think they still make the play-in.
The polar opposites of East versus West. The East has, in this playing game situation, the East has 8 teams and 8 solid teams that actually could go out and compete and win games in this playoff series. 9, 10 through 15 is just complete garbage. Complete garbage teams who should not be playing in a playing game and will get absolutely smoked in a playing game. That's what's going to happen. Meanwhile, that's Western Conference. You're actually have competitive playing games because all these teams could be competing for this last spot.
So mediocre.
Yeah, it's a bunch of mediocre teams there. The East just trash below 8.
I can't figure out the one. We said this last week. The one team we thought was going to make a deal. Well, the 2 teams, Raptors and the Bulls.
Yeah,
and the Bulls didn't do anything
because they're a game out of a playing game. That's the problem. It's the false sense of we want a playoff game.
It just doesn't make any sense for a team like that not to do anything.
Money.
But Jordan, I think you hit the nail on the head. The Raptors defensively, OG, Siakam, Scotty Barnes, now Jakob, they're going to be, that's a tough matchup. That's a really tough matchup. And we'll see. The Nets obviously they're not going to finish as the 5 seed. There's just no way. Mm-hmm. We'll see what's gonna happen. That last, those last two spots, the 5-6, we'll probably see the Heat jump up. But we got the Knicks, Raptors, the Hawks are gonna be competitive too. It's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be really interesting.
I'm surprised the Heat didn't make a deal. Maybe they pick up Russ. Who knows? But I'm very, very surprised the Heat didn't try to do something during the trade deadline. Trade away Lowry or something. I don't know.
They gave away Dwayne Dedman or something like that. That was it.
One thing for certain though about the Spurs is the Wemby tank is on.
Yeah.
That was that was their best player kind of at that point.
I love it for him. I love it for him.
Wembanyama in San Antonio would be.
I'd like to thank the Thunder for trading us Mike Muscala, who came in, who had second most minutes last night against his Bucks team. He's a big guy. I'm really excited for him on the Celtics.
We were talking about this before the show, and I like Mike Muscala a lot. This doesn't move the needle in any direction whatsoever.
I love it. He gives backup center help. I don't know. He played well last year.
I mean, look. I mean, you saw the LeBron. I'm sure a lot of people don't watch every game, but I'm sure a lot of people tuned into the LeBron game when he broke the record. And Mike Muscala was he was stroking that thing for sure. He was definitely stroking that thing, and he was making a lot of threes. So.
Dude hit 4 threes for the first time in his career.
I love the trade.
Wow. I mean, he looked really, really good that day.
Yeah. They're playing the Lakers though. It's not too much of a challenge there.
Yeah, he was wide open just because they don't play defense, but
they were just focused on the offensive end.
They might play
sure
defense
they get the ball to LeBron.
Yeah, might play some defense now.
Muscala gone. Underrated part. Suns. People aren't talking. Suns got Darius Baisley. It's huge.
Oh yeah,
that's where role players.
So big for them.
Gave up Sarge, second round, and some cash.
The Thunder love that.
Cash is king. So
they had to give that up for Darius Baisley. Are you kidding me?
Athleticism, baby. Defense.
Wow.
Where's the defense?
They gave you Dario Saric and a bag of chips for Paisley. Wow, what a great trade for both parties.
Bag of chips is crazy.
Any other trade deadline stuff we want to talk about?
Bruno Fernando.
No.
What else?
No, I definitely have something.
Kessler
What's
Edwards.
it called? How ironic is it that John Wall is going back to the Rockets? I'm glad that Eric Gordon got to the Clippers.
Yeah,
that's good for him.
We got to talk about the Clips.
Yeah,
team
Bones Highland's also Clippers.
So why did Bones get traded?
They really, I don't know. There was a locker room rift. I remember one game, the Nuggets lost a tough game, and Bones stormed out of the locker room or something, and then he didn't fly with the team. They made him fly commercial, which is, in my opinion, that's so crappy as an organization to do that to a guy, especially a youngin' like Bones. And then since then, he's been feuding with Mike Malone. So the writing was on the table.
It's unfortunate.
It's a shame because he lost his dog in Denver. He's never going to be able to find it again.
I just can't. What was it? 2 seconds? The Clippers gave up for him. Something like that. It wasn't much at all.
In that trade, they received.
What did they?
They received Bones
4-teamer.
and gave up. I don't even know. It was Davon. I don't even know where Davon Reed was before. So they gave up cash considerations, really.
And the Nuggets just got Thomas Bryant. So I really like the way Bones plays. I think he plays hard, and he's just a scorer on offense. He's terrible on defense. We'll keep it a buck. He's bad at defense.
So Kennard's out of there, replaced with Eric Gordon. That's got to be an upgrade. Eric Gordon can at least find his own shot, and he's got more years of reliability.
And defensively.
And you
he
get 3
can play
future
some
seconds
defense.
in that.
Nuggets get Thomas Bryant, too.
John Wall
he's
didn't
going to be
work out.
Energizer bunny.
Reggie Jackson also off that, which is not super surprising, but he had a couple very good first years in L.A.
Yeah, this season he's been really struggling, though. But, they're going to rely more on my boy Norm.
I think we're all missing the highlight of that trade, and it's the final downfall of DeAndre Jordan as Thomas Bryant is taking away all his minutes.
Oh no!
This is sad. It's kind of the end of an era for him.
Rest in peace.
But hey, Blake Griffin's still getting minutes somehow. So Lob City ain't done yet.
Which one of the two of them will retire first?
DeAndre's got to be done after this year, right? DeAndre's got to.
He's got to be done after this year. He's really tragic to watch.
First all team. What was it? Was he?
He was first team All NBA one year.
Some
Chris
for
Paul
some
made him
reason.
first. It was all
Yeah,
Chris,
it's
Paul.
Chris Paul.
You cannot be first team All NBA. No way.
The dude shot
His talent.
75% from the field, so
Because
Just
every
dunks.
shot
All
was a lob.
There's nothing besides dunks.
Just
I don't think
dunks.
he can make anything besides dunks. You ever tried to see him do a hook shot? I think Liam's hook shot is better than DeAndre Jordan's.
I have a nice hook shot. But the real winner in this 4-team trade is the Magic. You know, you got Pat Bev.
Oh, God. Okay.
They got
He brings some
Pat Bev.
tenacity to that young team.
Here's a trade
Why
that-
are the Magic doing this, though? They just gave up Mo Bamba and got Pat Bev.
Yeah, it doesn't really make any sense. For the Pelicans, who I don't know where they are in the standings. I know they
Seven.
were like
Seven,
first, and then Zion's been out,
Well,
and
they're-
they've tumbled a little bit. But
9-game loss.
I don't
know
really
how
get why
y'all
you give up
started.
Devontae Graham in 4. That's right, I said 4 seconds for bummy Josh Richardson.
Josh Richardson, man.
I don't know if it makes sense.
He's always. We traded him for Seth Curry, and I remember that day I was furious, and then he wasn't on the team the next year.
Seth Curry's still balling.
I don't think it's the worst trade in
Sorry,
the world. It just doesn't make sense. Like, why do they need Josh Richardson for? You're gonna send all those picks away. It's not. They didn't use Devontae Graham a whole lot, but like, what? There's really no need for that trade. I think they just wanted to do something. Like seriously, like oh maybe we're bored. We should do something to trade deadline. Because seriously, I mean they're bored because they have no Zion. Which, honestly, I don't think he should have started the All-Star game. But that's a tangent that we don't have to go down.
I agree. We don't have to go down that tangent, but I wholeheartedly agree with that.
Anyways,
You guys-
team Lauri Markkanen and Sabonis.
You guys want your NBA trivia question?
I think
Yeah.
that's all the trades, unless you want to talk about Kessler Edwards for
No.
the next 17 minutes.
Kessler
No, I'm
Edwards.
Did we
okay.
talk about Bruno Fernando and Garrison Matthews?
Nope.
Or no?
No,
Okay.
please no.
We're not doing that.
I want to talk about Villanova after this. We got some fun stuff.
Mm.
All right. How many? So, 1 second. 8 NBA players have won at least 2 MVPs and at least 3 NBA Finals. Can you name the 8 players?
Who's
LeBron
that guy?
Jordan. We'll go with.
Yeah.
LeBron Jordan,
Michael
yep.
Jordan, LeBron, yeah. That's what I was thinking.
Larry Bird.
Yep.
Duncan.
2
Yep.
MVPs. Was it 2 MVPs and 3 finals?
At least. Yep.
How many MVPs does Kobe have? 1? No,
He has one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Stephen Nash.
You have 4 of the 8.
Billiam Russell.
Bill Russell.
Did we
Yeah.
talk about Magic yet? Is he on there?
Is Magic on there?
Yep.
Oh, there we go.
Magic Johnson.
6.
Kareem.
Yep.
What are we missing? 2?
I think Will only won 1,
Yeah. Hakeem won 2.
but he didn't win. He didn't win
He
3
won-
chips
yeah.
though.
Shaq.
No, he only.
Wait,
Hakeem
wait, wait,
only
wait,
Not
wait,
Shaq.
wait, wait,
Hakeem
wait,
only
wait.
won
Steph
2
Curry.
chips.
Steph
Yeah,
Curry.
yeah, yeah.
Steph Curry.
Yeah.
How many MVPs does Shaq have?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Probably has
MVPs.
I guess it's what gotta be.
It has to be 1 then.
One.
Yeah, it has to be
Yeah.
1 then. Yeah.
Yeah, Shaq only has 1.
Wow.
Which makes sense actually now that thinking back on it. That makes-
1999, 2000.
Think about all
A-
those guys
AI
that
got
plays,
1.
bro.
Everybody kind of got like 1
Yeah.
in that time period. AI got 1. He
Except
got
for
1.
Steve Nash.
Well, Steve Nash got 2.
For some
Still 1 from
reason.
Kobe. Pretty funny.
That's nuts.
Not even
funny.
stolen from Kobe. There was like 4 guys. Like,
No, that was a
Going
lot.
over him.
Everybody likes to say Kobe just because Kobe's that dude, but a lot of people could have won it that year for sure.
Villanova basketball.
Yeah.
Talk to us, Frank.
3 straight wins. Grinding back to
Is that
500.
the longest winning streak of the season? It's got to be, right?
Probably. Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
There were 3 not great teams, but we have 5 straight quad 1 games coming up.
Huge. Let's win them all.
We go 5-0, we're a tournament team.
You think so?
We go 4-1, we're on the
Okay,
bubble.
Well, we're not going 5-0, but
We could.
yeah, we could. We could.
Shout out Brandon Slater for an absolute monstrous dunk last
That
night.
poster was sick.
My God. And Cam Whitmore for playing great defense recently.
Yeah. On the flip side, Jordan Alvarado is a practice
Yes.
player for the women's team. We got to give the women's team a huge shout out.
Shout out
Sure.
Maddie
Yeah.
Segrist.
50 burger, 50 bomb.
Yeah, she set so many records that game. It was actually it was crazy to watch. It was like possession after possession. They were announcing a different record. She's now the leading scorer in women's Big East history. She has the record for single game scoring for both Villanova women's and Big East women's single game. She has like 1,000 rebounds now. She's still the leading scorer in women's basketball. I mean, it's scary. I mean, it all starts with her, and she's a freak. But listen, the team as a whole have been playing so well. They just deserve all the credit and the attention. They're now 14th in the country this week. They haven't. This is a fact that even surprised me, even though I pay attention to every single game. The only game they have lost. They lost to UConn on January 29th by 5. We have redemption this Saturday at home. Everybody try to make it to the Fin. But that was the only game they lost since December 18th.
That's crazy. That's nuts.
And for some reason, ESPN will not include Maddie Sechrist on a short list for National Player of the Year.
Are you serious?
Ridiculous.
Mm-hmm. They gave her
29.
They gave her honorable mention.
Yep.
She's having
Get out of
29.
here. What a joke.
ESPN hates the Big East.
What a
They
joke.
do.
Ridiculous.
They do hate the Big East.
I will never forget last year. There was a comment that somebody said when Justin Moore went down that Jordan Longino would have to step up. I'm like, he's been out for this entire year.
Yeah.
My
Yeah,
God.
you're right.
Oh, I
You
remember
said
that.
on national television.
I remember that.
You don't
Yeah.
pay
Ridiculous.
attention. Yeah.
So pissed off.
Ridiculous.
They don't give a. They don't. Oh, whatever.
But kind of, yeah. I mean, 22-4. They play tonight at 7 against St. John's.
And if
We'll
we're
most likely
easy
get that
dubs.
win, and
That's
then
easy dubs.
we have redemptions against UConn on Saturday at home. So
I'm
if they-
excited
if
for
they get a
that.
top 4 seed, we get home tournament games.
Oh, you're right.
I think, you know what, they released the I don't.
We
I'm
were.
not-
They
I-
were the last
16,
4 seed right
yeah.
now. Yeah.
Yeah, right now they're a 4 seed. So.
Oh, let's go, dude.
Yeah.
If they beat UConn, they're jumping up to a 3 or
Oh,
2.
they're jumping.
If they
Yeah.
beat UConn, it's just about
Saturday, they're
guaranteeing
jumping.
this.
Yeah.
So I mean, hey, it could happen, and that would be electric. So
Home Fin, Big East. No, not Big East, but NCAA tournament games.
Yeah.
and if you don't pack
Electric.
that, you just don't like basketball. That's bottom line.
Facts. That's facts. And yeah, I gotta say, I've watched a good amount of the women's games this year. They play like dogs. They
Yeah.
play like dogs. I mean, Maddie's their scorer, but everybody else on the court, they got their shooters, they got their playmakers. I love the way they rebound too and play defense. They get after it.
Listen, I'll tell you, they are very, very frustrating to play against because I mean they're just so solid, from top to bottom. They just have a lot of different weapons, whether it be playmaking and shooting and defending and grit. They're very, very complete. What makes it hard because they tend not to beat themselves, which is very hard to say for a lot of teams. So, huge kudos to them, and excited to finish out the season.
Alrighty. Anything else Villanova related?
No.
Any trivia?
You got your 2 trivia questions today.
2 trivia? How about birthdays?
Yeah, come on, Liam.
Okay. Born in 1964 today, Mr. Mark Price. Happy birthday.
Wow.
You guys remember Mark Price,
Cavs
right?
legend.
Shooter, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. We also got Russell Martin, solid backup catcher his whole career. And
Russell Martin.
Backup
You like
catcher.
that? You like that?
who else we got? It's a little slow on birthdays today. I think Lizzo was born today though. I think it was Lizzo. Yeah.
Shout out
maybe Megan
baseball.
Thee Stallion. One of the two.
Pitchers and catchers reporting soon. Position players reporting a little later. Baseball season, spring training, starting back up to it. I know you're excited for this season.
Excited. I just saw Xander Bogaerts in his new Padres gear taking some swings. Really excited.
Yeah, they're all getting back there. It's spring's in the air. We're finally getting this cold weather and ready for some baseball.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
It's going to be my first beginning to end baseball season as a fan.
Yeah.
Very excited.
Happy
And it's going to
for
be
you,
the
man.
season they win it all. So,
Well, we'll see
Hopefully
about
not.
that. Yeah. That's gonna happen.
Yeah.
all right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you again for watching, or excuse me, listening, as always, to Fun in the Locker Room on Wednesdays. Thank you again, Jordan, for coming on the show. It's always a pleasure. We just knew with all this news, we're like, we got to get him on here and see what he's got to say.
I appreciate that.
Did not disappoint, as usual. Make sure to go follow the Twitter, go to the YouTube, and mark your calendars because every Wednesday, I don't care what you're doing. I don't care if it's class. Drop what you're doing and listen to this show. So,
AirPods in class.
yeah.
Best way.
Tune in.
Come on, live while you're young. I mean, it's just class at the end of the day.
Yeah.
You can always go to the next class.
Yeah.
So, but not on Wednesdays. All right, everybody. Have a great rest of your day. 89.1 FM WXVU, The Roar, signing off.